So we are going to cover about the YTM bonds and everything, and this is the part 2. My name is Ashish and I bring the basic videos for JIB, CIB and the bank promotions. And if you want to clear the JIB exam the very first attempt, do subscribe the channel right now. And if you have been watching our videos for a longer time and you have been liking it, kindly please do give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also press the bell notification icon so that you get updated whenever we upload the new videos. So this is going to be the part 2 related to the YTM, that is a yield to maturity. And in the last video, we covered related to the basics of the bonds, and also we covered that how to calculate the present value of the bond. That was a very important video. Let me tell you that if you have not gone through that particular video, kindly first of all go through that video. The link you can be finding in the description below, and then come back to this particular video. And if you want to get the PDF videos and everything in your WhatsApp, just WhatsApp on this number. But before WhatsApping on this number, make sure that you have saved this number 83609 44207, and after saving the number, WhatsApp us on this number saying saved for JAIIB, and we will be adding you to the update list. Now, let's head toward today's video, and we'll be starting with the numerical. So we have covered the basic component related to this numerical in the last video, and this is somewhat complex numerical, but based upon the same things, right? So the problem statement given over here is a bond whose par value is given to be 10,000 bears a coupon rate of 10% payable semi-annually and has a maturity period of 3 years. The required rate of return on the bond is 8%. What is the value of the bond, right? So this is the scenario with us. Now I told you that in case of bond, when you basically do invest in bond, it is having a face value that you need to upfront. That's the outflow. On zero we are having outflow, and further there are different years. Let's say we are considering it for 3 years, so 1, 2, 3, right? So you will be getting the coupon at what rate? At 10% per annum. But make sure that this particular coupon is paid annually. But in this scenario, the coupon is not paid annually. We are being paid coupon semi-annually, right? So whenever it is said that the coupon is being paid semi-annually, then you need to divide the rates with 2 and multiply the maturity period with 2, right? So in scenario, the value of coupon rate, that is CR, will be equal to 10 divided by 2, that is 5% semi-annually. And if we talk about the n, that is duration, that will be equal to 3 into 2, that is equal to 6 half years, right? So that is the scenario here. And also the required rate of return, which is given to be 8%, that will be equal to 4% semi-annually, right? Now you'll be getting the semi-annual cash flows also. That is, at the end of the first half year, you'll be getting an amount of 5% on the par value, or that is 10,000. So 5% of 10,000 is equal to 500. So you're getting 500 rupees semi-annually for 3 years, and we need to calculate the present value of the bond. So the present value of a bond, I told you the criteria that the coupon that you're getting is forming the annuity. So for coupon, it will be the PVIF factor, and for the face value, it will be the PVIF factor. I already told you the idea related to that, how to calculate it, right? So we'll be considering that effect also. Plus on coupon, you will be calculating the PVIFA factor. So it will be PVIFA, and rest of all is same, KD percentage and N, right? So this is how we are going to solve it. The face value is 10,000. It is 10,000, and PVIF KD percentage, that is required rate of return, 8%, but we have already divided it by 2 because we were to calculate it for the semi-annually basis. So it will be 4%, and N will be equal to 3 into 2, that is 6 half years. Plus coupon amount you're getting 500 rupees every half year, because the coupon rate is also to be divided by 2, that is 10% divided by 2, that is 500. And the PVIF factor, we will be calculating KD percentage value, and the N value remains all the same. Now you'll be using the simple calculator so as to calculate the things. We'll be using the discounting factor formula. The discounting factor formula is 1 divided by 1 plus R raised to power n. Now R is the required rate of return, or the discounting rate, we can say. So it will be 1 divided by discounting rate is, what with discounting rate is to be used, that is 4% required rate of return, the required rate of return, this is to be used, right? So it is 0.04. So it is 1 divided by 1.04. And how many times? N value is equal to 6. So we have to press the equal to sign for 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 0.7903. So we can simply be writing 10,000 multiplied by 0.790314, right? Plus 500 multiplied by, so we'll simply be pressing GT button so as to calculate the PVIF. I have not cleared the values. First of all, I calculated the discounting factor for calculating the PVIF value. Then thereafter, I'll be simply be pressing GT, that is grand total button, and that is actually your what? That is a PVIFA value. So 5.242. So multiply by 500 plus 7903.14. That is 10524. 10524. That is the answer related to the present value of the bond. Now, I already told you a trick in the last video also that in this scenario also your coupon rate is more than the required rate of return. So whenever the case is like coupon rate is more, in that scenario, the present value of the bond is always greater than the par value of the bond, right? So this will be the answer. Now let's jump to the next topic, and it's related to the current yield on the bond. Now, what do you mean by current yield of the bond? So it measures the rate of return which will be earned on the bond if it is purchased at its current market price. So if you purchase the bond at the current market price, right, at the current market price, and the coupon interest is being received over there, then we basically want to calculate the things. That will be the current yield, right? That if I say that the bond is being sold in the market right now at 850 rupees. Now in that scenario, in denominator, I'll be having 850 rupees, and let's say 10% coupon is being earned on 1000 face value. So 1000 bond price par value and 10% coupon is being earned. So 100 rupees of the coupon is being earned. So the current yield will be equal to coupon interest that you're earning divided by the current market price. That would be the current yield multiplied by 100 so as to calculate the percentage, right? So in this scenario, it will be 100 divided by 850%, that is 11.76%. So otherwise, your coupon rate was 10%, but now, as per your current market price is lesser than that of the par value. So you are actually earning a higher yield. That is, the current yield is higher, right? On the other scenario, if the current market price is more, let's say case current market price is 1050, and you're earning 100 of the coupon, right? In that scenario, your current yield will be lesser than that of the coupon rate, right? That's the case. Now let's have a look at the example over here. It says if bond is having a face value of 10,000, carrying a coupon interest of 8%, is quoted in the market for 9,000. What does it indicate? What will be the current yield? What will be the current yield? So first of all, we need to calculate the coupon. So 8% of the coupon on 10,000 means 800 rupees we are earning, and the current market price is 9,000 multiplied by 100. That is your current yield. So 800 divided by 9,000 percentage, that is 8.89%. That is the current yield that you are earning right now, right? Is that clear? So otherwise, your coupon rate is 8%. Your yield was said to be 8% when you were sold the bond, but now the current market price is lesser than the face value. So our current yield is more, right? And other than that, we are having the rate of return. Now, in the case of rate of return, we also do consider the capital gain or losses. Now, what do you mean by capital gain or loss? Let's take the case, the one yield that we are earning is in the form of the coupon. One yield that we are earning, that is in the form of the coupon interest that we are earning on the bond. Coupon interest that we are earning on the bond. What other income we can be gaining from the same? Let's say case I purchase the bond for 1000 rupees, and now I'm selling it for 1050. Now in this scenario, I'm having the capital gain of 50. That is also to be considered. That is also to be considered. So the rate of return does consider take into account the capital gain and losses along with the coupon earned. So whatsoever the coupon you are earning, that is your income also, but also whatsoever the whatsoever the capital gain or loss is there, that is also to be considered. Let's have a look at the question over here. It says if A bought rupees 1000 bond 6% 5-year bond at 1020, and after 1 year sold it for 1040, right? So what does it indicate? In this case, what coupon is being earned? The coupon earned is at 6% of 1000, that is 60 rupees coupon is being earned, right? 60 rupees coupon is being earned. And what is the capital gain or capital loss? I purchased the bond for 1020 and sold it for 1040. So the difference is positive. So it is 20 rupees of the capital gain is there. 20 rupees of the capital gain is there. And at what price it is trading right now? On what particular price I purchased? I am to calculate the particular rate of return on the same, right? So it is 60 rupees that I earned through the coupon plus 20 rupees that I earned through the particular capital gain divided by the price at which I purchased it. That is 1020 percentage multiplied by 100. That's it. That would be the answer. That would be the answer. So it is 80 divided by 1020%. That is 7.84. That is 7.84%. That is the rate of return. That is actually the rate of return that we are earning. So whereas the current yield would be what? Current yield is actually related to what? It is just related to the coupon that you are earning, right? That the coupon you are earning at the current price over there. That was a scenario over there, but not in this scenario. Getting in this particular point. Are you particularly getting this particular point? Can you please do confirm? So sorry for the interruption over here. This was somewhat unexpected due to the telephone. Right. So we were basically talking about what? That the current yield is what? Current yield is 60 divided by the price. 60 divided by the price at which we purchased, right? So that is to be considered. That is to be considered. Is that clear? Okay. Now let's jump to the another topic. That's a main topic, main highlight of the video. That's the yield to maturity, and this is very much important topic. This is very much important topic. Okay. So yield to maturity, we say it to be YTM. The whole chapter is named for it, right? So YTM is actually what? It is a discount rate. Like what is discount rate actually? As I told you, that is, let's say guess that it is a year 0, 1, 2, 3. So it may be the case that I'm getting some future cash inflow. Let's say rupees 50, rupees 40, rupees 90 or anything, right? And I want to reduce the value to the present value. I want to reduce the value. I'll be getting rupees 50, 40, 90 in the coming years, right? At the end of the coming years, right? But I want to reduce the value to the present value, that is at the zero value. So in that scenario, I need to reduce this value. I need to discount the values. I need to discount these particular values, right? So that's the case. So that is actually what? That is a discount rate. So the rate at which I'll be discounting these values so as to conclude the present value, it is a discount rate. So the yield to maturity is also what? It is also a discount rate. Kindly pay attention to what the words. It's a discount rate or the rate of return at which the present value of the cash flows to the current market price, it becomes equal, right? So whatsoever the cash flows I'm going to get, that whatsoever the present value of the bond, that whatsoever the present value of the bond, that becomes equal to what? That becomes equal to the current market price. Okay. So that particular discount rate at which this happens is said to be the YTM, right? So let's say case that this is CMP, that is a current market price. And how do we use to calculate the present value of the bond? The same formula, that is the face value and the PVIF factor. So instead of particularly saying the KD percentage, we can say this is the YTM percentage at which these will become equal, right? And further plus coupon, and for coupon we will be having the interest factor of the annuity, present value interest factor of the annuity, again YTM percentage or the required rate of return, and N. So the percentage at which these two become will equal, that discount rate is said to be the YTM. And why YTM is actually important? Why the YTM is important? Because it is the rate of return by the investor. So it is actually the rate of return which is earned by the investor if the investor purchases a bond and held that particular bond till maturity, then this rate of return is earned by the investor. So there is two-way definition. One, it is from the uh, point of view of the basics of the YTM, and the other one it's related to the income perspective, right? So both these are true. Okay. So whenever we have to solve the YTM, we can only be solving it using the hit and trial method. So we are going to have a look at it. So consider 1000 par value bond whose current market price is given to be 850. Coupon is given to be 8% and has a maturity period of 9 years. So what would be the rate of return that will be earned by the investor if he purchases the bond and holds the bond till until maturity? So what does it indicate? It indicates that we need to calculate the YTM, that is a yield to maturity is to be calculated. Is that clear? Is this part clear? Right? So over here we are having the face value is equal to 1000, right? Current market price CMP is given to be 850. Further, the coupon rate is given to be 8%, right? And further maturity period, that is N is equal to be given to be 9, right? And we are to calculate the YTM. I already told you the formula related to it. So we can simply be saying it will be equal to 850, that is the current market price, is equal to face value 1000, right? And further for face value it is PVIF factor. Now KD percentage that we need to calculate, this is what we need to calculate, and N will be equal to 9 plus the coupon is 80, right? And further PVIF, present value interest factor of the annuity, again KD percentage and 9 over here, right? So this is how we need to calculate. But when so we have to calculate the YTM, we have to use a hit and trial method. Hit and trial method, right? So now in that scenario, first of all, when the price of the bond, the current price of the bond will be lesser than the face value of the bond. I already told you the basic related to it. When the current particular price will be lesser than, we can say the present value of the bond will be lesser than the face value of the bond. In what scenario? When the particular coupon rate is actually greater than what? The coupon rate is actually greater than the required rate of return or lesser than it. When the coupon rate is actually lesser than or greater than, the coupon rate is lesser than the required rate of return. So I meant to say the required rate of return will be on the higher side. It will be greater than 8%. That is actually clear to me that the whatsoever the answer related to the discounting rate for this particular question, that is going to be greater than 8%. That is going to be greater than 8%. So I'm going to assume two values of the required rate of return, that is KD percentage, and I'm to consider both those values greater than 8%, right? So I'm assuming the one value of the KD percentage to be 10% and the other value will be considering at 12%. And for both these values, we will be calculating the present value of the bond. So we need to solve two equations. One equation would be equal to, when we are considering the KD percentage is equal to 10%, and then that scenario we need to calculate the present value. I'm saying it to be 1. So it will be 1000 and present value interest vector and 10% and 9 plus 80 PVIFA and 10% and 9. And also we need to consider the second value KD percentage. We will be assuming it to be 12% and we'll be naming it PV2, and we need to calculate the PV2. So it will be PVIF and 12%, 9 plus 80 present value interest factor of the annuity and 12% and 9. We have to solve these values. This is quite easier. So we have to calculate the PV1 and PV2. This is what we did. Over here also, this is what we did. So we got the one value to be 787.26 at 12%. At 12%, we got the value at 787.26, and at 10%, we got the value at 884.72. 884.72. So this is the value of the PV1, and this is the value of the PV2, right? Now we are to actually learn this particular formula, that when the hit and trial method is to be used, we are to basically write down the lower discount rate, difference between the two discount rates, and further multiplied by the present value of the lower discount rate minus the current market price and divided by the absolute difference between the present values, right? So we basically just fit the value into it. So lower discount rate is 10%, and the difference between 12 minus 10, and the present value of the lower discount rate, that is at 10%, it is 884.72 minus 850, right? That is the current market price divided by the absolute difference between the higher, means higher value of the present value, minus the lower value of the present value, right? So that we did, and we got the answer as 10.71%. Okay, so this is how we can be solving the questions. Is that clear? So this is how we can be solving the questions. Now let's have a look at the theorems, and these theorems are very much important and very much interesting at the same point. So these are very much important from the exam point of view also, right? So when the required rate of return, it is said, when the required rate of return is equal to the coupon rate, the value of the bond is equal to its par value. Is that clear? Definitely it's clear. What does it indicate? It indicates when the coupon rate is equal to the required rate of return or the discount rate. That indicates what? That indicates that the present value of the bond will be equal to the face value of the bond. That will be equal to face value of bond. Now let's try to solve this through a example. So bank purchased a 4-year bond. Bank purchased a 4-year bond with face value of 100. Coupon is 12%. Required rate of return is also 12%. We need to calculate the present value of the bond. So how we are going to solve it? The face value is 100. So we have to calculate the PVIF value, and the percentage is 12%. So 12% and 4. And also the coupon is 12%. So 12% of 100, 12 rupees, and present value of interest factor of annuity 12% and 4, right? We'll be solving this. So it will be 100 multiplied by, so 1 divided by 1.12 and raised to power 4 hoga, because the discounting factor will be equal to 1 divided by 1.12 raised to power 4 for PVIF calculation, right? So we'll be pressing equal to sign 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 0.6355 plus 12 into, just simply pressing the GT button, that is 3.0373. Simply we'll be solving this particular question. So it is 63.55 plus 36.448, 36.448, and when we'll be adding these both, almost this will be equal to 100, almost equivalent to 100. So it is 99.998. This is because due to the calculation errors, otherwise it will be equivalent to 100. So hence it is proved that when the coupon rate is equal to the required rate of return, in that scenario the present value of the bond is equal to the face value of the bond, right? Second, it one says it is also that we have already proved this particular thing, right? When the required rate of return is greater, so when the ROR is greater than the coupon rate, in that scenario, the present value will be lesser than the par value. Very much true. No need to prove it again. We have already solved this. You can be trying to solve this question at your own part and do let me know the answers, right? So the other one, it's related to when the required rate of return is less than the coupon rate. When the required rate of return is less than the coupon rate. In that scenario, what happens? When the required rate of return is less than the coupon rate, in that scenario the present value of the bond is greater than the par value or the face value, right? This we have also solved. This we have also solved during the previous questions and examples. No need to go through them again. And further, the fourth one, it says when the required rate of return is greater than the coupon rate, when the required rate of return is greater than the coupon rate, the discount on the bond declines as the maturity approaches. As the maturity approaches. Now, what does it indicate? It indicates that, let's say case that the required rate of return, that the KD percentage is greater than the coupon rate. And when the KD percentage is greater than the coupon rate, what does it indicate? That the present value of the bond will be lesser than the face value of the bond, right? Means the present value will be available at a discount. Let's previously consider that the residual maturity of the bond was 4 years. The residual maturity of the bond was 4 years, and the present value of the bond is 850, and the face value is 100, 1000, right? So what discount was there? The value discount was 150. The value discount was 150. Now let's consider if the residual maturity is now reduced to 3 years, right? Is reduced to 3 years. Residual maturity is reduced to 3 years. The rest, all the things are all same. In that scenario, let's just assume the price is 900, the discounted price is 900, and the par value is the same, that is 1000. So the discount is now reduced to 100. This is what it meant to say. Now read it again. When the required rate of return is greater than the coupon rate, the discount on the bond declines as the maturity approaches, right? That this is what is said. Now let's try to prove it through the numerical, right? So it is said that bank purchases a 3-year bond, right? And with the face value of 100. So it is 100 and simply PVIF, and the coupon is 10% and the required rate of return is 12%. So it is 12%, and for the 3 plus coupon is 10%, so it is 10, and PVIFA and 12% and 3. This is meant to say, and we can easily be calculating the present value. Now what will be the present value? It is 1 divided by 1.12123, that is 71171.178 plus 24.01, right? Multiplied by 10 plus 71.178. The answer comes out to be 95.196. The answer is 95.196. Now, particularly calculate the present value of the bond and also calculate the present value of the bond after 1 year. After 1 year means what? After 1 year means what? Let's say this is PV1 and we need to calculate the PV2. Now, in this scenario, we'll be considering the value of N to be 2, right? So, we'll be saying PVIF and 12%, rest all the things are same, plus 10 PVIFA, 12% and 2, right? And now we'll be solving it again. So it will be 1 divided by 1.12. So it is 79.719 plus 16.9. So it comes out to be 96.619. Now see, previously the discount was more. Here the discount is more, right? And here the discount is lesser. Is that thing clear to you? Right? So that is the scenario. Okay. Now let's move to the another question. It says when the required rate of return is less than the coupon rate. When the required rate of return is less than the coupon rate, the premium on the bond declines as the maturity approaches. The premium on the bond declines. Same case. Now, the scenario is when the required rate of return is less than, that is ROR is actually less than the coupon rate. It simply implies what? Simply, it basically implies that the present value of the bond will be greater than the face value of the bond, right? This is what we meant to say, that the value is available at a premium. Let's say case previous value of the premium was 1024 and the face value was 1000. And let's say residual maturity was 3 years. Now the residual maturity is reduced to 2 years. The premium will reduce. Now let's say it is 1020 and 1000. Previously it was available at a premium of 24, but now it is available at a premium of 20. This is what we meant to say. Okay. And you can be trying to solve this particular question at your own behalf, and do let me know if there any problem persists. Now the other one, it's related to a bond price in inversely related to the yield to maturity. I already told you the bond price or the bond value is inversely proportional to the interest rates. It is inversely proportional to the interest rates. So if the interest rates increases, the bond price will reduce, and if the interest rate reduces, the bond price will increase, right? That's the scenario. Here is what I meant to say, that if the required rate of return is greater than the coupon rate, the value of the bond is lesser than the par value, and also the vice versa. Okay. Now after that, it's related to difference between the for a given difference between the YTM and the coupon rate of the bonds. The longer the term to maturity, the greater will be the change in the price. With a change in YTM, it is because the case of long maturity bonds, a change in YTM is cumulatively applied to the entire series of coupons, payments, and the principal payment is discounted at the new rate of the entire number of the years to maturity. Now let's understand this through an example. So let's consider the fact. I'm just giving you one example, which will be making it very much easier to you so as to understand the things. Let's consider that bonds are there, bond A and bond B are there, right? So 100 rupee bond is there, and further we are having the particular coupon rate to be 8%, and the maturity is 2 years, right? And for bond B, it is 100 is a bond and 8% is a coupon, and the maturity is for 10 years, right? And let's consider that the YTM, that is the required rate of return, is 8% initially, right? Now I will be calculating the present value of bond BA, because the rate of return, that is required rate of return, and particularly the coupon rate are same. So it will be 100 in both the scenarios. But when will be changing the YTM? Let's say case that the YTM, which was previously 8%, is now reduced to 6% in both the scenarios. Let's say now it is now reduced to 6% in this scenario and 6% in this scenario. When this particular case happens, the change in the bond B will be higher. The change in the bond B will be higher because whatsoever the different cash flows were there, those were cumulatively having the effect due to the YTM for the longer duration, right? So that is what we meant to say in this particular theorem. Okay. So that will be all related to this video, and I hope that you must have liked the content. So if you want to get the PDF of all the videos of for GAI, you just simply save this number, that is A3609 and 44207. Just save this number on your mobile, and for the WhatsApp on the same number, writing saved for GAIB, and we'll be reverting you back with all the PDFs and all the updates. So that will be all. Thank you so much, and see you again in the next video tomorrow. Happy learning.